Marcus had been traveling for work his whole adult life. Rental cars, airport lounges, hotel rooms that all looked the same after a while. He wasn't picky. He didn't need a spa or a rooftop bar. He needed a clean bed, a working shower, and a decent Wi-Fi connection. That was it. So, when his company booked him into a budget stay inn for a 5-night conference trip, he didn't complain. He checked in on a Sunday evening, dropped his bag, and went to sleep. He had no idea that by Tuesday night, his key card would stop working, and a stranger would be standing at the front desk telling him he was no longer welcome. Marcus was 38, field operations manager for a mid-sized construction supply company. He traveled roughly 40 weeks a year. He knew hotel policies better than most front desk clerks did. He knew what quote, _0, meant. He knew what the continental breakfast cutoff was. He knew not to prop open fire doors. He was, by any measure, the easiest kind of guest a budget hotel could ask for. Invisible, low maintenance, gone by 7 a.m. every morning. He had a printed confirmation for 5 nights. Prepaid. Non-refundable, according to the booking terms. Total, $412. Sunday check-in was smooth. Monday was fine. He was at the conference all day back by 9 p.m. In bed by 10. Tuesday followed the same pattern. He grabbed dinner near the venue, got back to the hotel around 9:30, walked to his room on the second floor, and slid his keycard into the door. The light flashed red. He tried again. Red. He figured it was a demagnetization issue. Happens all the time near phones and wallets. He went back to the front desk. The clerk on duty, young guy, maybe 22, name tag said quote, _1 _. Looked at Marcus's key card, typed something, and then looked up with an expression Marcus didn't expect, not apologetic. Careful. Quote, _2 _. Marcus set his bag down, slowly. Quote, _3 _. Dylan glanced at the screen again. Quote, 4. Marcus stared at him. Quote, quote, 6. Quote, 7. Dylan nodded, like that was an interesting data point that didn't particularly change anything. I understand, but the complaint was filed and the cancellation was processed. By who? When? Dylan said he couldn't share that information. Marcus took a breath. He'd dealt with bureaucratic nonsense before. He asked to speak to the manager. Dylan said the manager wasn't on site. He gave Marcus a number to call in the morning. Marcus asked where he was supposed to sleep tonight. Dylan said he could suggest some nearby properties. Marcus asked about his refund. 3 nights remaining, prepaid. Dylan said the booking was non-refundable and that the cancellation was due to a conduct violation, which voided any refund eligibility. Marcus asked for that in writing. Dylan printed a 1-page quote, 10. It listed the violation as __quote _11 no time. No names, no specifics, just that. Marcus took the paper, took his bag, and walked to his rental car. He sat in the parking lot for a few minutes, not panicking, processing. He had 3 nights prepaid, roughly $247 remaining on the booking. He'd done nothing wrong. He had a conference to attend for 3 more days and now needed to find last-minute accommodation at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. He opened his phone and booked the cheapest available room nearby. Another $189 out of pocket for 1 night. Then he started taking notes. He documented everything that evening, the time he returned to the hotel. The conversation with Dylan, reconstructed in detail while it was fresh. He photographed the guest conduct violation notice. He checked his phone. No missed calls from the hotel, no emails, no texts warning him of any complaint before his key was deactivated. He looked up the hotel's published guest conduct policy on their website. It stated that in the event of a noise complaint, management would first issue a verbal warning to the guest. A second complaint would result in a written warning. Only a third violation would result in cancellation. Marcus had received none of those. Not a knock on the door, not a call to the room, nothing. They had skipped straight from 0 to cancellation, and kept his money. The next morning, Marcus called the manager. Her name was Sandra. She was polite but firm. She said the complaint had come from another guest and that staff had verified the disturbance. Marcus asked what time the disturbance occurred. Sandra paused, then said she'd have to check the log. Marcus told her he had returned to the hotel at 9:32 p.m. according to his rideshare receipt, and that he had gone directly to his room. He asked if the complaint had been filed before or after 9:32 p.m. Another pause. She said she'd look into it and call him back. She did not call back. Marcus went to the conference, attended his sessions, and spent his lunch break doing research. He found the hotel's parent company, a regional budget chain with a corporate customer service line. He also found that his state had specific consumer protection provisions around prepaid reservations and service cancellations. If a business cancels a prepaid service without delivering it, and without documented cause, the customer is entitled to a refund regardless of the non-refundable language in the booking. Non-refundable clauses protect against customer cancellations, not business failures to deliver. That distinction mattered enormously. He also found something else. The hotel chain had an internal escalation policy published in their franchise operations manual, publicly available on their corporate website. It stated clearly that noise complaints required a 3-step warning process before any reservation could be terminated. Step 1, verbal warning delivered in person or by phone. Step 2, written warning slipped under the door. Step 3, cancellation with documented evidence on file. Marcus printed that page. That evening he wrote 2 letters. The first went to the hotel's corporate parent, their customer relations department. He outlined the timeline, attached the conduct violation notice, attached the rideshare receipt showing his return time, noted the absence of any warning steps, and cited both the corporate policy and the state consumer protection statute. He requested a full refund of $247 for the 3 unused prepaid nights and an additional $189 reimbursement for the emergency accommodation he'd been forced to book. Total requested $436. The second letter went to his state's Consumer Protection Office as a formal complaint. He sent both that night. 2 days later, Friday morning, last day of the conference, his phone rang. Corporate customer relations. A woman named Patricia. She had reviewed his file. She apologized. She said the property had not followed proper protocol and that his complaint was substantiated. She offered a full refund of $412, the entire original booking, not just the unused nights. She also offered a $100 credit toward a future stay at any property in their network. Marcus thanked her, declined the credit, and confirmed the refund timeline. 7 to 10 business days. It arrived in 8. Marcus never stayed at that chain again. Not out of anger, just practicality. He'd learned something useful, though. Budget hotels rely on guests not knowing their rights. They rely on the assumption that a tired traveler at 10 p.m. with an early morning will just find somewhere else to sleep and eat the loss. Marcus wasn't that traveler. He was the one who sat in the parking lot taking notes. Here's what Marcus's story actually teaches. First, always document your movements when traveling for work. Rideshare receipts, restaurant receipts, conference badge scans. These are timestamps that can disprove vague accusations. Second, read the hotel's own published conduct policy before you challenge them. The weapon they used against Marcus was the same one he used to dismantle their case. Third, non-refundable protects the business from you canceling, not from them failing to deliver. That clause does not hold when the hotel itself terminates the reservation without cause. Fourth, corporate escalation works faster than property-level arguments. The front desk has no incentive to fix it. Corporate has every incentive. Fifth, a formal consumer protection complaint filed the same night as your corporate letter signals that you are serious and that you know the process. That combination is hard to ignore. Marcus got his $412 back. He got an apology from a corporate rep who actually meant it. And he got through the rest of the conference without missing a single session. The only thing he lost was one night of decent sleep in a familiar room. Everything else came back. Know your rights, document everything, new story every week, subscribe,